Welcome everyone. Today we have a very important session on debate. Madam Angela, what is the present situation in Africa, especially the debating cultures? Do you have corporate debate? Academy arrange any debates? How does it work? Debate help your communication skills?
Well, much as uh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear
Uh,
you.
much as, much as debate has not been so much incorporated in our culture as African, for example, in schools, it is something which I'm seeing coming up lately, and especially most of the high schools are now incorporating debate clubs to try and encourage the pupils to engage more objectively on issues. Thank you.
Thank you. So we will discuss about debating. Let's say debating. What is debate? It's actually analytical skills. Let's say when we take preparations for communication, reading, writing, listening, and spoken, that time actually one thing is very common. What we do, we are doing for communication. We are doing for communications. Communications help us to uh, improve the characters. Communication help us to develop our analytical skills. Communication help us to make a good relationship with the people. Communication is very very important for everyone. So debate is something, it actually help you to improve your communication skills. Debate is something, it will help to engage with people. So this is the impact argument. What is the argument? Argument means a logical analysis, logical statement for a specific things. Let's say I want to be a climate change activist. I want to be a doctor. Okay. So what is the logic behind that? Why I want to be doctors? Okay. What is the capacity I have? How I can improve the doctorate quality? How I can go through? How I can enhance the capacity? Okay. So these are the common things. Component of an argument. Claim the argument you want to make. Debaters call this is tag. Should be a complete persuasive sentence. Should present the argument and why it's matter. Example: the affirmative plan cannot solve. There is no proof that plan will reduce the risk. Where? Component of an argument. Data, the evidence, that is the rate to prove the claim. Written evidence should come from credible publishing sources. Analytical proof can be based on logic, general knowledge, and evidence already in the debate. Identify valid evidence. Components of an argument. Warrant, the why a claim is true. Do you have a warrant? This is the visual structures of logic. Warrant, claim, warrant, and data. Why to answer an argument? Logical argument equals to logical refutations. Emotional argument equals to emotional refutations. These are the very basic things. These are the very much effective for us. So let's say I give you a task. Do a logical debate on healthcare system in Africa. How you want to develop your logical argument. Angela, Madam Angela.
Well, I think I will look at it from both aspects, on the good side and on the bad side. But then that is in the overall, and then later you have to narrow down to which side you really want to really either agree with or disagree with. That's
Okay,
what I think.
like can you give me some sort of, uh, let's say, speech on healthcare situation in Africa? And I give you a task, right? Yesterday I give you a task. Can you explain your topic? Because I think you write something.
Yes. Now, should I start with the yesterday's task or the current one?
Yes.
I would say in the current situation of the healthcare system in Africa, I would submit that most of the African government leaders are not keen to develop policies which impact positively to the development of the healthcare infrastructure in Africa. For example, this like the last or the current pandemic that we have been going through has really exposed our weaknesses as a continent, because we saw that most of the African countries were heavily relying on commodities which are being imported, whereas African governments would have built capacity to enhance productivity within their countries so that these supplies would be locally available. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, what do you think? Like, example, if we want to train women, let's say I give you a task. You are our fellow. I give you a task. You have to motivate 10 women. They should join and get training from School of Talent Economy. How we can do that? Let's say this is your case study. How you can motivate your people.
First and foremost, you need to do a feasibility survey of the number of women who are not aware of such an organization or an arrangement going on. And then you will engage them and sensitize them to make them aware of the benefits and how this can be of much great help to them, not only to them, but also to their entire communities. So with information, when these communities are impacted, when the girl child is impacted with enough education and proper education, they will definitely take an informed choice and they will know the right direction to take. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, let's say from next week, I want to give you a task. You are woman fellow for us. That 9 good healthcare worker or any people's, women entrepreneurs or anyone's from your country, from your village or from your city, they will join with us. And then we will arrange a projects empowerment, entrepreneurships, women entrepreneurship. Okay. And then we will work as a team, we will develop the projects, and our projects will be helpful for your community. Do you understand?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
So this is your task, like some field work, some networking, some leadership skills. Okay. And anyway, so mainly why I'm discussing this leadership skills, because it's all about debating. Debating actually help you to grow your analytical skills, grow your knowledge, grow your enhancement, grow your capacity, grow your team building approach, grow your team building capacities and everything. The more we can understand this process, we can understand each other's, and we can develop our ecosystem in an effective way. So next week I will give you a field task. Our major objective, we want to train women. So 10 women, you can send me the list, and we will build them as an entrepreneur. Okay. And this is one kind of leadership skills you will grow from the schools, because you have leadership skills. That's why, and you are dedicated. That's why I distribute the job. So thank you. Today's session is very good, specifically in terms of brainstorming, developing some things. So thank you, Madam Angela, for joining today's session. Okay. Thank you. Bye
I
bye.
had a task. Mr. President, I had a task of the impact of COVID pandemic in Africa. Should I present today or when should I
Yes,
present?
yes, you can, if you want, you can.
You actually gave me a task on the impact of COVID pandemic in Africa, and this is what I came up with. The COVID pandemic has not only affected the healthcare system in Africa, but also the economy at large. The effects have not only been felt in Africa, but globally, though African continent was worst hit with this pandemic. As we all know that most of the African population are actually employed in the informal sectors, and these sectors were greatly affected with the time-to-time measures which were put in place to mitigate the COVID-19 crisis, like the lockdowns, which kept on being reviewed time to time, and this led to most of the people shutting down their businesses. And one can clearly see the results of the said measures as a number of the people living currently in extreme poverty has continued to rise due to lack of basic necessities like food, shelter. Some of them cannot be able to come up to pay their rent and such like things. And mortality rate is also expected to increase not only from the COVID-19 pandemic effects, but also overall from other diseases due to lack of enough revenue allocation to the healthcare system, which will be remarkably reduced because the economies will definitely be doing poorly. But the pandemic also highlighted our weaknesses as a continent, and we actually saw that we actually lack proper infrastructure in healthcare system, and lack of medical supplies really was a major challenge to most of the African countries. Moving forward and looking forward, revenue collection will also be slowed down due to these effects, which will also still impact negatively on the health system, social security, and social security and life. Health, social security, and education, among other issues. And this will really or severely affect the trajectory of African continent in the long term. In conclusion, I would say COVID-19 has been a major setback and has impacted quite negatively, and the effects will linger in African continent for so many years to come. And thus, I suggest that African leaders therefore should address some of the fundamental aspects of this, of as fundamental aspects, and put more emphasis in the following issues like good governance, try to invest more in healthcare infrastructure so that when we are hit with such pandemics, we are not badly exposed. And then governments also should try and work closely with the health sector to enhance digitalization and help also in providing proper water points or proper water connectivity in all communities, as well as in the healthcare system. The African leaders also should really focus on productivity instead of relying mostly on import commodities, because this was also largely seen with medical supplies, whereas we ran out of most of the medical supplies, the test kits, the masks, the COVID-19 overall gears, protective gears. So we should actually include uh, build more capacity locally so that these commodities could be produced locally with us and not rely heavily on imports or donation from other countries. That's what I came up with as impact of COVID-19 in Africa.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. This is very good presentations. Hopefully next week we will work together as a team. It will be more on practical activities we will do, and we will improve our leadership quality. So thank you, Madam Angela and Nkushi Steven, for joining today's session. Thank you. Bye bye and take care.
Bye bye. Thank you.